right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
Thank you very much, Ken Rice. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. We're here talking sports with you at 412-575-2600. You can also tweet at KDPomp, at Gene Collier. We'd love to hear from you, and we bring in the outstanding columnist with the Post-Gazette, a little Gene therapy for you tonight. How are you going to give the therapy to the Steelers after that game yesterday?
Well, that was, you can kind of see that one coming, couldn't you, Bob?
It was sooner or later something was going to happen.
I mean, you can't win
against that defense.
You can't win continually with this kind of smoke and mirrors offense the Steelers have been running out there. People seem to forget because of Duck's early success that he is a four-string quarterback effectively, and he's operating without a lot of his weapons, most notably Juju Smith-Schuster, and really even yesterday without James Conner, who the Steelers really have no interest in using apparently.
Well, the thing about it, James Conner, if he's healthy to go, I would assume he could be healthy for a full workload. I know it's been a while since he played.
I didn't see one get it.
Right. I mean, he looked good too with 8 catches or 8 rushes for a 5.3 average. He also caught 4, but he was in and out. They dressed all 5 running backs. If you're going to do that, to only come up with 15 rushing attempts in a game that was never really more than 7 points apart, so you can't say it was away from them. And I was a little surprised. I didn't mind right off the bat throwing down just to try to loosen up a Buffalo defense that was clearly going to try to suffocate the run. But even that didn't work for them because, they've been gouged. They're 21st in the NFL against the run, 2nd against the pass. And yet, after a 15-yard game by James Conner right off the bat, they really didn't go to him as much as I thought they would. And as a result, they kind of played right into Buffalo's hands, I thought. Yeah,
I thought so. And this is, I'm not blaming Ben for this, but in the Ben Roethlisberger era, if you will, he's taken the Steelers so far philosophically away from the run that they really don't know how to, get reestablished in that mindset. I mean, there are a couple games where they seem to commit to it, and they have done so a little bit in this streak, but it has not really taken hold.
No, it hasn't. And they also really don't have much to offer in the way of tight ends now. Vance McDonald's out with a concussion, and Nick Vannett really hasn't been targeted all that much. They had to dress Zach Gentry. He made a catch yesterday. But, the one thing that's been missing is a presence in the middle of the field, Gene. They do not throw the ball at all in crossing routes. There's nobody making slant pattern receptions. There's no presence in the middle of the field, and I think that also plays into the defense.
Yeah, you rarely see anyone open on the kind of seam routes that Heath Miller, for example, used to run. And that's disappeared.
But really, when it comes right down to it, too many mistakes. And the one play call that you can second guess, and I don't second-guessing play calls because if they work, all of a sudden people will credit the coaching staff for coming up with something shrewd at a time where they didn't expect it. However, 2 minutes left in the first half and they go to a wildcat at the 10-yard line. It's basically 1st and goal. You have a chance to get at least 3 points, and they fumble the ball away right off the bat with using James Conner as the quarterback in the wildcat.
Right, who had not run the quarterback, the wildcat this year, and not in my memory either.
And Deontay Johnson's not a running back either, so he's not used to getting handoffs either.
Yeah, he's trying to get a handoff. I mean, I know the Steelers have to do some things because they're put in a bad situation with their quarterback, but that's to me that's a waste.
Well, one thing that we know, the Steelers still control their destiny. Yep. If they win the last 2, they're both on the road against the Jets, who I think will be motivated to play that game, especially Le'Veon Bell. But if they win it, they get in with 2 wins. And the Baltimore game may mean nothing to Baltimore. We'll see how they approach that. However, if the Steelers split, they're going to need Tennessee to lose to Houston in the final week of the season. So who knows how that will be. But as far as quarterbacks, you're going to come back with Devlin Hodges? Is that your guess?
No, I mean, I was never a big fan of Devlin Hodges. I mean, I didn't think he should have been given the job over Mason Rudolph. I know Mason had a couple of bad games, but now Duck has caught up to him in that regard. He said this was a terrible game. This is the kind of game that got Mason Rudolph benched.
Right, although it really didn't. The next game did. after he started badly in the first
that's
half
true.
against Cincinnati. So if you use that as your formula, then if Devlin Hodges has a bad first half and they trail in this game at New York, you're going to find probably Mason Rudolph back into the game. But anyway, it's going to be intriguing down the stretch. We'll see how it goes. Congrats to Drew Brees tonight. He set the all-time record most passing touchdowns in the history of the game, 540 now. He owns a lot of those passing records. The Saints are going to be a team to watch in the NFC. A lot of good teams there. We'll talk more about that with you when we come back. Pitt played a basketball game tonight. We're going to show you highlights of that one when we come back and talk about some other stuff as well. It's 412-575-2600. That puts you in touch with us right here on Pittsburgh CW. The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, celebrating 25 years as Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, where honesty and integrity still matter.